so we did a whole campaign on disability accessibility, and this is how we started educating other coalition members and organizations. So one of our work focuses on immigration issues or on accessibility. And so when we were focusing on the accessibility piece of it, we saw that there was a huge need for businesses and organizations to be more accessible. They wanted us at the table, but none of these organizations that wanted us at the table were accessible. And then they would look at us like, oh, well, can you host? Can you provide accessibility? Can you provide interpreters? And we were like, no, it's your responsibility to provide all these accommodations or accessibility needs. So then we started telling them about the resources that as organizations or businesses they could use from the city, from the state, to make their organizations and businesses accessible. And we were able to, we're still in the works of doing this, but we have been able to change these coalitions' mentality. And now they're like thinking, oh, well, if we're inviting Cambiando Vidas to participate in a march or in a meeting or in an event, we need to have interpreters. ASL, Spanish, you know, they weren't thinking like this before. And it didn't take the one or the two times that we talked with them. It took many times. Wow. And repeating it. Like, it's your responsibility, not mine, yours.
That are really important people in the documentary world, but it's a very like humble industry. You know, people are willing to help each other and to learn. And it's a industry where they're thinking a lot about being inclusive to people of like race, gender, ability. And so I have felt it be welcoming. And I have felt it be a space where I can contribute and I can be honest and I can push people and call them out in ways where they are receptive to listen and to make change. And that's exciting to me. It feels like my perspective is being valued, where there have been times in the past where like there has been shame around who I am, and this feels really empowering, where like this is who I am. I think is important is because like knowing your identities is power. Like you understand where there's marginalization, where there's oppression, and you understand societal barriers, but you also understand where you hold power. Mm-hmm. And you understand where you need to make room for others. If you're a receptive person and take it all in, right? You understand that like you need to make space for others too. Yeah, like I said earlier, I don't think people do that often. And we did this session. We did it last week on intersectionality and identity and power. And people were crying during the session because they were like, we hadn't really thought about this or talked about this and like really understood. You know, people think of it often as race, but it's really like, I'm a woman, I'm Mexican, I'm disabled, I speak English, I have health care, all of these other things that really play into where you are in society.
So tell us a little bit about Cambiando Vidas. What would you say is the overall mission of the group Cambiando Vidas in your own words?
So we have said always that the mission is to create a positive change within the Latinx and immigrant communities of people with disabilities. And the reason why we've said this, we want to create a positive change is because within our own community, within the Latinx community, there's this misconception that as people with disabilities, if we say we have a disability or if we have a disability that is visible like mine, I come from a Latinx family, and it's like they have this like pity over you, right? I mean, they see us like, ay, well, pobrecita, mira, no puede hacer esto, no puede hacer lo otro. They see us like, because we have a disability, we are more limited, and they want to like overprotect us. The mission for Cambiando Vidas came about because we wanted to show folks that no, I mean, we want to provide that like outwards worst of like, we are here, yes, we need supports, but we want you to be our allies. We want to create that change of your mentality that we can do things, not that we can't. We want your support in other ways. Like help us advocate for the rights that we do have, rather than have pity for us, right? When we started inviting more folks to join us, like broaden our scope of not just focus on Latinx, but broaden our scope for immigrants. And it's been super successful. And I can again say that I'm proud of the fact that the group has grown and we care for each other. Like you could, be a person from another culture or have a different disability, but we are very close knit. We try to make sure that we know what's going on with one another. How can we support each other? So that's something that I see as a plus.
Yeah, that's extremely important to me. I don't think any of us go on this like first and we're not doing the work right. And a lot of times people assume that just because I'm Black or African American and I think that our people are first, and that's totally not it. I'm working every day to strive to be more inclusive and more diverse and more intentional about what anti-racism means. And so even for me as an organizer, I have a lot of work to do to bring people in a circle or in the position to make decisions. And so I think that's what's important in order to make that change.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, as a community organizer, it's all about bridging gaps and bringing people together. So, I mean, that's got to be incredibly challenging to get people who didn't see things from your perspective or vice versa.
It's necessary work.
It is. I mean, a lot of things at the end of the day that we need as a society is to love and respect each other, no matter who you are, how you identify, or what your cultural background or racial background is. If we're really truly doing the work, then we're reflective of the society that we live in. And so we really have to be intentional about understanding what that means and not just being one-sided and or ableist.
For example, I have a disabled woman who became a mom. And so she was saying that, I don't want anybody to help me. I will take care of my own child. And this is what I'm going to do. Disabled people can do this. And for me, I'm like, oh, wow, if I give birth to a child, I want everybody to come and help me because I heard you don't get sleep. You're exhausted. Emotion is everywhere. And so I'm like, is this what independent living is about? And I did appreciate, there is like a level of care that people just give. But I think it was really hard for me to really recognize that that's a great value, because I was also trying to define what does disability rights really mean, and what does that mean to rely on another person to receive the help that you need. And I think, again, meeting other disabled people really helps with just finding words and finding the language to describe our experiences. So in terms of, how we do it as a collective bodies, I feel that, for example, at DeKalb, because I take in students to work on their fieldwork training, and many of them do have experiences with disabilities, but most of them probably had never had this experience to really identify and connect with it.